I'd like to hand the mic and the camera over to Hoon to talk about some lessons from Asia. Over to you, Hoon.
So this session is called Lessons from Asia, the building of a tech hospitality unicorn from South Korea. And we're very pleased to have with us Jong Kim, CEO, Yanolja and Yanolja Cloud. Jong-un, how are you?
Hi.
Good to see
I'm
you.
Very good.
Good to see you again. You know, last month you were in Singapore physically on our stage, but today we are back to Zooming.
Yeah.
a familiar setting.
Yeah, the experience was great, and I really happy to have a offline the forum and conference with the real persons in person. Yeah, so it's a great experience. Thanks to you.
Yeah, it definitely is a very different experience. And you know, one of the things that you said in our interview at WiT Experience was when I asked you about new markets, and you immediately say Africa. And so when you said that, you know, I immediately say we must get you to speak to our audience at WiT Africa, which we are doing now. So let's just tell the audience here a little bit about Yanolja. You know, they may not be familiar with, you know, the company before we get into your plans for Africa. So if I just start off with the background. So it started about 17 years ago as an aggregator of small and medium-sized accommodation in South Korea. And you joined the company 6 years ago to launch Yanolja Restart to reinvent the business. What was your mission at that time?
Sure. 6 years ago, Yanolja was a very small company. Actually, we didn't have the booking platform. We are showing the content only through our application and website. But I think that's a reason why we can be grown up to the unicorn and decacorn. We were the startup. So I think that's the key to innovate the industry and become a new #1 platform like a Tesla. Even though there are many car makers before Tesla, Tesla doesn't have any legacy of combustion engine. So they can innovate the car industry without any legacy. Like Tesla, 6 years ago, all the travel companies' business model was just agent model, connecting seller and buyer. But agency model is usually under zero-sum game. So I would like to add more values. That's the reason why I have built cloud-based ecosystem across value chain, such as hardwares like a kiosk and robot, SaaS like a PMS or CM, and AI-based solutions like RM, revenue manager. As a summary, my mission was digitizing the industry and realizing automation and personalization as a disruptive innovator.
Right. So you wanted to develop an ecosystem, you know, of services in the cloud. But actually, the first thing that you did, though, was to build a consumer travel super app in South Korea first, right? And basically, we said you started with independent hotels, and then you kind of broaden and deepen the hotel content. And then during the pandemic, you basically then included leisure activities, tickets, restaurants, and transportation, including trains and buses. So this Yanolja super app is a very strong consumer-facing business. Is that right?
Yes, correct.
Right. So how challenging was it to add new verticals as you were building the super app? You know, like, so you started with hotels. How challenging was it to add new verticals to the super app?
Before Yanolja, most OTAs have focusing on relatively large-sized inventories like a hotel, called as a short head, while Yanolja would like to build small and medium-sized inventories like a budget hotel, called as body and long tail, as well as a short head. So I believe body and long tail is a key area to digitize the industry successfully because they don't have enough resources to operate the online process. That's the reason why we cannot find out the enough inventory from small and medium accommodations or leisure facilities. So we have done this from the accommodation, leisure, F&B, and on top of that, we have built transportation and shopping areas. In terms of the transportation, we already launched all the ground transportation categories like train and bus. Also, Yanolja is already #1 in flight booking. Recently, through acquiring Interpark, the first e-commerce platform in Korea, we are expanding customer experience up to shopping. So we will differentiate our shopping experience from the other e-commerce player through combining travel and shopping.
Wow, so your super app is going to be even more super now with the addition of the Interpark e-commerce business, right? And so, you know, you've built this consumer super app, a consumer travel super app in South Korea, and then you develop this Yanolja cloud to supply B2B solutions to the South Korean travel industry first, and now you are taking it global. You're taking it overseas, right? And you have now you have raised quite a bit of funding. So let me just go through the numbers, right? I had to keep track of your funding. And so when you launched Yanolja Restart 6 years ago, you received 10 million funding, right? Then the Series B was 20 million. Series C was 60 million. And Series D, 200 million, okay? And then Series E, well, that's $1.7 billion from Softbank Vision Group, right? I mean, that is amazing fundraising. What are you planning to do with the 1.7 billion funding that you've got?
Great question. Thank you. Yanolja is a company about digitizing various spaces, not just about travel and accommodation, because our tech can be adapted to many kinds of the spaces like residentials, your home, leisure facilities, and F&B, etc. So Yanolja Cloud is B2B2C company. So we are working for the suppliers and partners through automation and their cost reduction, as well as enter customers through the personalized offer. So we don't want to have a customer's data. We would like to forecast, expect what's the next move. For example, if my customer booked the flight, and we can recommend what's the best hotel around their destination. That's the way we have built our Yanolja Cloud business. Also, in terms of the funding question, despite the COVID-19, fortunately, Yanolja's profitability has been improved quite much. So we don't have any funding for our working capital. So we are planning to use our funding for the new business development and M&A. Especially, we are building the very stronger team for India, Southeast Asia, and Africa recently. Also, we are expand our sales force in many developed countries like Americas and Europe. So, and in terms of the M&A, mostly for the advanced super app, we should acquire some more company to make up the area Yanolja is not as strong. That's the F&B mostly. Also, we would like to use our funding to acquire some more companies around our Yanolja Cloud related value chains. Because as of now, we are selling our solution in 170 countries with 60 languages. So Yanolja cannot do the sales and operation for ourselves. So we are looking for many partners through partnership, investment, or M&A.
Okay, so you're looking for acquisitions within South Korea to boost your super app in South Korea, and then at the same time, you're looking for acquisitions or partners in overseas markets to help you basically scale Yanolja Cloud, right? And in India, you bought Easy Technosis. And then in Vietnam, you developed partnerships with a company called VN Life, which is basically a huge payments company in Vietnam, but has a travel vertical. So let's talk Africa then. Firstly, why Africa, and particularly which markets in Africa are you interested in?
As I told you, Yanolja can be new #1 company as a new decathlon travel tech company because we were startup. If we have a legacy, it costs a lot more to innovate the company itself. Like Yanolja, I believe Africa is kind of the startup. So in terms of the SaaS, if we can start from the SaaS, not from the on-premise, probably the market can be innovated much faster than the other countries. Think about the China with mobile payment. Thanks to low penetration with the credit card, I think mobile payment and mobile banking can be grown up much faster than the other countries. So we will invest a lot of the resource for the African market, and we will visit to the accommodations to train the new SaaS for reducing their cost. At the same time, probably Africa can be the best company for the customer can enjoy the seamless travel, the self-service available, the accommodation they can have. So I have a big kind of the ambition to innovate the African market because there is not the legacy not that much.
Right. So they are true startup, and they are actually not as developed as Southeast Asia, which already has, you know, some legacy systems, right? So Africa in a way is like almost could be a blank canvas for you, you know, and the fact that the markets are, if you say, you know, the unbanked, low credit card penetration, it gives you opportunities to bring sort of real innovation for you to kind of leapfrog the industry. It's very, very ambitious, right?
Yeah, exactly.
But have you been to Africa? Like, do you know the markets? Because, you know, one of the reasons why Yanolja is so successful is because you know South Korea, right? And you built a super successful local business. How are you gonna, you know, compete globally?
So you asked about the VN travel in Vietnam market. So I would like to answer with that question both. As I told you, Yanolja would like to innovate the industry itself, not specific country. So we are already selling our solution in 170 countries, but small penetration because nobody knows the SaaS, and it's very difficult to understand. They can save the cost through the cloud-based ecosystem. So we are looking for many partners in each country. So in terms of the Vietnam, VN Travel is a great company. They have their own payment. Also, they understand the operation, including the hardwares. So rather than investing some small companies, or rather than building our own business there, I thought partnership with the #1, the leading company, is the best way to innovate the industry itself in the Vietnam. If we build our own business there, probably we can make more money, but we don't care the money that much. Speed and real innovation with best partner is the most important to us. But if there is no leading company to be partnering with us, In that case, we would like to invest or acquire. Anyway, we would like to make a win-win. So if we invest into the small startup and they can leverage their own capability with our money, probably they can be VN travel, for example, in the other countries. So we would like to support the potential companies.
So in particular for Africa, so you're trying, the ideal would be to find a partner like VN Life in Africa, that could be your spearhead into that market, right? You're looking for a partner similar to VN Travel.
Frankly speaking, we are doing the documentation. So yeah, in terms of the Africa, we will announce the news, investment or the acquisition.
When is the announcement?
Within this year.
Oh, wow. Okay. So, for the companies that are listening to this, this presentation, this conversation, right? What would you say to the companies that may be interested in working with you to try and innovate in Africa, in hospitality?
I believe digitization means that we need to flow the data seamlessly from customer to supplier to customer to supplier. So we would like to connect all the value chain in the cloud. So we are looking for many partners for each step of the value chain. The first, the operation company. So we are ready to provide the best solution and hardware for any operator. So if they can optimize their operation with our solution, probably they can cut huge cost, meaning more money they can make. And in terms of the hardware, we are doing every hardware areas, and we are looking for many partners, kiosk and IoT-based, the room management system, including the door lock and controller and the electronic devices and so on. Also, we are working with the robot company because connecting with our solution, the robot's efficiency can be improved a lot. So we are looking for many partners around the hardware areas as well. In terms of the solution SaaS, PMS, channel manager, revenue management, and the internal booking engine, and IDS, and bed bank, every areas can be our partner. So we are communicating with many partners around the solution area.
Wow, that's amazing opportunities for people who are listening to this, because you are really looking to stitch many pieces together to build, to paint your blank canvas into a beautiful picture. That's what you're doing. So lots of possibilities for working with you. It's interesting at Focusrite, where I am, and I interviewed Steve Hafner of Kayak, and Kayak announced 2 more hotels that they are opening in New Mexico, right? And so Kayak's entry into hospitality is with a accommodation startup called Lifehouse. So Lifehouse provides the technology, manages the hotel, and Kayak sort of generates the customer demand, and the customer then books through the Kayak app. They book the hotel, and then they can book the flight, they can book things to do, so it's really, so it seems like kind of a very similar model to what you're doing, except yours is way bigger than Kayak, which just has 3 hotels.
I like Kayak, so yeah,
well, they have an interest in your business, right? Booking Holdings is a partner.
Yeah. So yeah, Booking Holdings is our investor. So definitely, I'm very close to the companies under the Booking Holdings, and I believe, yeah, you are right. The approach and strategy looks very similar. I think the key is that Yanolja knows how to make a unicorn company in travel industry. Under the Yanolja group, we have already 2 unicorns, and I believe we can make some more unicorns under the Yanolja group. But outside the Yanolja group, we would like to co-work with many partners, and we would like to support them to be another unicorn, because this market size is about $3 trillion US. Huge.
Wow.
So it's the two times bigger than the car market and 5 times bigger than semiconductor market. So it's impossible for us to dominate the industry. We need to find out the great partners, and we need to grow up together. And at the same time, with our kind of know-how, we would like to support many more travel companies being the unicorn. So I checked the R&D, the budget by industry. So as I told you, even though this market size is bigger than the car market, R&D budget is less than 20% compared to the car industry. So we need to strengthen the R&D capability. We need to digitize the market itself. That's the key to grow up the market. And probably, I believe, the travel industry is the most promising the industry for every startups and every tech companies.
Yeah, I mean, despite the pandemic, I mean, what we've seen, you know, with the world now opening up, you know, the US opened up on November 8th, and we're starting to see Asia opening up. There's a vaccinated travel lane between Singapore and South Korea. I mean, travel recovery is really, really quick, and it's happening pretty fast. So you know, I'm a believer in travel like you know, now that I'm out on the road traveling again, which is why we are recording this and not doing this live, you know, I am absolutely convinced of the power of travel, you know, to really, you know, bring people together. You know, it's so important after 2 years of isolation. So let's talk travel. I mean, I think you've painted a wonderful picture of opportunities, and you want to really help create lots of little unicorns, you know, to really make the industry very innovative and prosperous. Have you been to Africa? Like, you know, have you done a trip to Africa? What's your favorite trip that you've ever done to Africa?
Frankly speaking, I have not been there, but as I told you, we will announce investment or the acquisition soon, which means that I have very close the partner there. So definitely, I have a plan to go to the Africa and work with them. So
wonderful. You know, I think this is so great, you know, Jong Yoon, that you've not been to Africa, but you are absolutely so passionate and such a believer in this new market, just as I am, you know, and so, you know, the next WiT Africa, where we will have it physically in Cape Town, you must join me there physically, and we'll both be there physically. All right?
Great.
All right. So thank you so much for that conversation. Kamsahamnida. And we'll see you on the road. We'll see you on the road in Africa next time. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.